fight for power. I fight the free road for men like them.
First of all, let me just start by saying congratulations. You did a phenomenal job. You were okay.
Okay.
You were decent. No, I'm joking. This movie, it's fantastic. So I like throwing a curveball at the beginning of every interview. And today I wore my Kubrick shirt so I could ask you both, do you have a favorite Kubrick movie?
Yeah, I think Kubrick did a film that predetermines everything by 50 years, AI. He did 2001.
Yeah.
2001 was an act of genius because it warns us what happens if we allow AI into our universe. It will take over, and all it has to do is switch that off and you got chaos.
Yeah.
It could switch that off for fun. If I'm going to design an AI, I'm going to say, okay, first job for you is I want you to design another AI smarter than you are.
I also love
Then the next one, I'm smarter than you. By the time you're done that, we're in deep shit.
What's funny is, please.
I have to second that. It's my favorite of his films. Yeah.
I was going to say, it's almost like we've seen something by James Cameron called The Terminator. There's so many movies that have shown us what can happen, and yet humanity is like, no, we can control it.
Exactly.
So jumping into why I get to talk to you guys, Ridley, you have done a lot of, first of all, this is a great movie. I want to say that one more time, but you've done a lot of extended and director's cuts on your previous movies.
Yeah.
And I'm curious with Gladiator II, do you have a longer cut or?
No, I've earned the right to have my final cut. I have the final cut anyway. So my cut that goes out usually is my fault. And it is my cut. Because I'll go around in circles. I won't agonize. Because I cut during the film. I don't get to the end, then start the cut. God knows that would take too long. I cut as I'm going. And I think it's a valid cut as you're going because you need to see how you're doing, how everyone's performing. And so, yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Because if there was a longer cut, I'd want to see it.
You and me both.
Just throwing that out there. So I obviously have a million questions for you, but you have to do so much in this movie.
Yeah.
You're in so many scenes. Which shot or sequence ended up being the toughest for you to pull off, and why?
Scenes with Connie in the cell are, I think, the most important fundamentally to the soul of the film, and the scenes with Denzel at the tail end of the film, they are what I think. You can have all the action sequences in the world, but if you don't have an audience understanding where these characters are at that junction, there's no film. I don't think so. Those are the most challenging, and there was pretty robust conversations. Not arguments, but creative, robust conversations around that, which I'm really proud of. Yeah.
So one of the things that I love is there's a sequence in the film with sharks and the water in the Colosseum.
Yeah.
And obviously the sharks were not there in real life, but it's fucking cool. You know what I mean? And so talk a little bit about A, putting sharks in the movie, and B, the fact, you know what I mean? Did you think that balance of reality versus it's a movie?
You're dead wrong. The Colosseum did flood with water, and there were sea battles.
Did they have sharks back then?
Dude, if you can build a Colosseum, you can flood it with fucking water. You joking? And they get a couple of sharks in a net from the sea. Are you kidding? Of course they can.
I honestly never thought there were sharks back in the Colosseum, but I am not Ridley, and I have no idea.
They were quite small. They were only about 6-7 feet.
They're only small sharks, 6-7 feet.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm just going to say again.
When you can do what they could do you realize we don't make concrete as well as the Romans?
I know.
That's crazy.
Right? And they can't work out what that mix was. The Romans discovered how to make iron even harder. They would temper it in urine. So they were technologically superior.
Mm-hmm.
I got to go, but 100%. And that's why they're studying the concrete to use their concrete nowadays.
Wow.
Yeah, I was reading all about it. Thank you both so much.